You know what? I think weather impacts people's lives in ways they don't even really understand. Number one, you've got to deal with the weather every day, whether it's rain or snow or clouds or sunshine. Sunny days, you go, oh, there's not a lot of weather to deal with. Well, there's all sorts of people who work out in the weather and have to live in the weather. So everybody is impacted by the weather. Everybody has to deal with the weather. So my job as a meteorologist includes delivering forecasts to the public in a lot of different ways. We do it on the radio, we do it on television, we do it on the internet, we do it through smartphones. But most of my entire job is collecting weather information, creating a forecast, and then delivering that forecast to the public. I would say the biggest tool we use now, today, it was different 10 years ago, and it was different, even more so different 20 years ago. But the biggest tool we use right now is the internet. From a science point of view, meteorologists use all sorts of instruments. We use barometers and thermometers and hygrometers and altimeters and all sorts of stuff. We're looking at for pressure and for moisture. But to deliver that to us, and then ultimately for us to deliver it to the public, the internet is the most valuable tool we use.
Tornadoes are most likely to form in the spring. They form when cool, dry air mixes with hot, humid air. They can reach up to 300 miles per hour. They are very, very dangerous, so watch out for tornadoes.
Tornadoes happen when cold air and warm air collide and they start to twist. It creates a vortex. The vortex is up in the cloud. When that cloud twists, it will start to pull the cold air down, and that creates a funnel, and you will see funnel clouds. But when the funnel cloud actually pulls debris from the ground, that's when you get a tornado. That's what's classified as a tornado. So in order to do that, you need open space. So flat, open areas is where tornadoes can best form. Where there's mountains, the air is going up and coming down, and that kind of cuts up the tornado. So Utah, because of our mountains, we don't do very well. But we still average 2 tornadoes a year here in Utah. So we can get funnels, we can get tornadoes, and we do get them. They just typically are pretty weak and happen out in rural areas, and they don't do a whole lot of damage.
What is a tsunami? Tsunamis are a big wall of water. Tsunamis are often 5 to 60 minutes long. Some people think tsunamis are just big waves, but they are so much more. They are a huge wall of moving water.
Did you know that hurricanes develop over warm water? The warm water is used as an energy source. The wind flow of hurricanes in the southern hemisphere is moving clockwise, while the wind flow in the northern hemisphere is moving counterclockwise.
Hurricanes are huge low pressures. So remember I told you low pressures in the northern hemisphere circulate counterclockwise. So as a storm starts to form, it starts to spin. And that happens when you get warm water. In order to create a hurricane, a cyclone, or a typhoon, which are all the same thing, they just have different names based on the oceans where they form. So they're all the same. Some people go, oh, what's the difference between the three? No difference. It's just where they form in the oceans in the world. That storm with the warm air starts to feed a storm, and the storm gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The hurricane creates this spin, and you can get an eye in the center of the hurricane that's beautiful. It's sunny, it's calm, it's like there's nothing going on. Yet all around that is this big, humongous storm that has winds of 100, 200 miles an hour. Lightning and thunder, tornadoes can get spawned out of hurricanes, and they can do all sorts of damage to very large areas of the world.
Lightning is a part of electricity. The movement of rain rises a thundercloud creates electricity. There are bolts of lightning hitting the earth every second.
Lightning actually comes from both the ground and the cloud. So lightning is formed when electricity, you've got positive and negative issues for electricity, and they like to go together, okay? So with enough charge, one of them, either the ground or the cloud, is going to send out what's called a leader stroke. It's the very beginning of lightning. And then the other end is going to connect to that.
Floods can form in many ways. They can form with heavy rains, when snow melts, when dams break, and with rivers, lakes, and oceans. It can destroy homes, cars, trees, and people. It can even be dangerous if it's just 2 feet deep.
So the ground has what's called soil moisture content, and it's how much water or moisture is in the soil. When the soil is really dry, it likes to soak up the rain. But when that soil moisture is really high, or there's lots of moisture in the soil, in the ground, then the water will run off or stay. So if you get a lot of rain in a hurry, or in spring, or you're melting snow, the ground gets to a point where it just can't take any more water. It's saturated. And so then the water stays at the surface.
Did you know that more than 1 million earthquakes are all in the world each year? An earthquake is a sudden shock on the Earth's surface. Earthquakes are just a sign of the Earth releasing stress. Think of it this way. Imagine holding a pencil horizontally, and if you were to apply force to both ends, the pencil would eventually start to bend, and then once you have released the force that you were putting on it, the pencil would snap in the middle.